new Kundalini Surjhee album that is coming out next week. And so we're really lucky to have GuruGanesha right here in Virginia, and want to take the opportunity to get him to tell all of us about the behind-the-scenes scoop on the album.
Well, you know it takes a village to make an album, and it was a phenomenal and joyful effort of a number of great human beings, including you as executive producer.
Blessed.
And of course Christian, who really is coming into his own as one of the top producers in the entire world sacred music genre.
And Christian, by the way, also produced Pure Ganesh and the live in concert albums.
And the Sonatum's Feeling Good Today children's album.
That's right, yeah.
So, and he toured with Sonatum and I as our percussionist for several years, and was our sound engineer, but his real passion has been, you know, be in the studio. And, you know, he's just went above and beyond, put so much love and devotion into this. And of course, we had some amazing, wonderful world sacred music artists who collaborated with me on this, starting first and foremost with Tina Malia, who I'm going to be, we're going to be rolling out a lot of these songs live in the tour called Song of the Soul that we're co-headlining. And there's just great chemistry, musical chemistry between us, like on the first track, Bhajamanamede. And her vocals, especially that last 3 or 4 minutes, which features her, is just pure nectar of devotion. And then on the third track, Bright Star, it's a beautiful duet. You know, we call it alternate verses, and then the last section, she just does some magnificent, just spiritually uplifting ad-lib. And then also we have, you know, the new Spirit Voyage chantress,
That's right.
Jai Jagdish, who plays a very prominent role on 3 of the tracks. She you know, co-sings melody with me on the 2 Gurbani Kirtan tracks, Kundalini Surjhee and Avalayala. And it's interesting because first I did the vocal myself, and I'm listening to it and I'm saying, well, this is good, but it's not, doesn't quite have that wow factor there. And then Christian and I talked about, let's bring in Jai Jagdish, because, you know, she has a magnificent voice. She also really has, you know, almost perfect Gurmukhi pronunciation. She spent years in India. And she came in, if you listen to those tracks closely, she really, the combination of our voices, plus Christian singing harmony, in both Kundalini Surjhee and Avalayala, I think is very, very compelling, and I love to listen to it. So my wife, my wonderful life partner, Mata Mandarkar, who's been so supportive, and in the last 10, 11 years I've been, you know, spending half my time on the road touring, and, you know, she's just been, you know, just wonderfully supportive, and, you know, she understands this is, you know, my purpose in life, and, you know, so we support each other in that way. And she has a wonderful harmony voice that people don't, I don't know if people realize it. She's singing really beautiful harmonies on Bhajamanamede in the verses, and she sings in Bright Star in the harmony parts.
She sings those high harmonies.
The real high, sweet nectar harmonies is Mata Mandarkar. And she also sings on Kundalini Surjhee, when we get into the call-answer, almost tantric style, male-female near the end, when the Kundalini has risen and we're celebrating the experience of the Kundalini having risen in the company of the holy. She's in the female chorus with Tina and Jai. It's an amazing sound. Michelle Hurtado, also known as Jai Kartar, and she had some great flavor to the album. Like an Avalayala in the bridge, my God, her ad-libs in there are just...
Yeah, they sound almost Middle Eastern. I mean, that whole track has a bit of a Middle Eastern feel. But
well, she's from Cuba, but she's,
amazing,
you know, but she sounds Middle Eastern in there. And she also adds some nice little ad-libs here and there in Bright Star. And then Jessica Caulfield, who's, you know, also has a spiritual name, Satsidikar. And people know her because she is Reese Witherspoon's best friend in Legally One and Legal Two. She's an actress.
Legally Blonde.
Legally
Yeah,
Blonde.
yeah.
Legally Blonde. And, you know, what people don't know about her is that she was a blues singer. She's from Detroit, and she was a great blues singer before she got into acting.
Oh, I didn't.
And, of course, I came to know her because she became a very devoted student of Gurmukh at Golden Bridge. And we used to go there and play. And I remember one time, Sanatana and I and Guru Singh and Thomas Barkey went and did a gig at Golden Bridge. And she was like standing up, like right up near the stage, just belting out these incredible bluesy licks. I'm going, my God, who's that? Afterwards, I met her and we talked. And she sang a little bit on my Grateful Ganesha album. But she really rocks out on the Had Gobinde part of Walk with the Lord. And on the last track, which is just One God, which is a total celebration. I mean, she just really nails it.
Well, you needed a blues singer for that
track. Yeah, she nails it. So it's quite, there's a lot of Shakti power on this album. And I don't mind being in their shadow.
On this album, there's like amazing percussion, lively beats. It's really got some,
well, that's because I was able to get my really dear friend Ramesh Karan, who tours with Sanatana and I, to come into the studio. And you know, I didn't think it could be done, but the chemistry in the studio was as good as the chemistry that we have on stage. You know, he plays tablas, he plays that Nigerian clay pot called udu, and he plays the cajon, that box that he sits on. He plays it with his hands, he plays it with brushes, and he also provides all sorts of other little percussive sounds. Shakers and chimes and bells. I mean, Ramesh is just...
Yeah, sometimes it sounds like there's a whole huge drum section on the album.
Well, that's Ramesh. You've seen him live. He can do it. And he'll be at Spirit Fest too, playing with Sanatana and I, and probably everybody, you know, at last Spirit Fest, everybody wanted him to play with him. So it adds so much juice to the whole weekend, you know.
Oh, great.
But I'm very grateful that Ramesh was willing to do this within his busy schedule.
Are all lucky.
Meditate on the
And what made you want to call the album Kundalini Surjhee? Why don't you?
Well, part of it, you know, Kundalini, you know, is the unlimited creative energy that's contained and coiled in the nervous system of each human being. And that's why we do Kundalini yoga, is kind of to tap into that and unleash it and bring it to bear on our lives. And it, you know, and it helps when the Kundalini rises, it takes our energy from the, you know, first 3 chakras up into the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th chakra. We want energy in all those chakras, then life is really rich and joyful. Surjhee is a Gurmukhi word which means rising. And I called it that because when we were making the album, I mean, it was really, especially that track, felt like the energy was really rising up through all the chakras and really out the crown chakra. If you hear the end of that track, the title track, track 2, the last couple of minutes, I think it would be hard to listen to that and not have a Kundalini experience. I know we all did when we were making it.
So, you know, I've been working with GuruGanesha on albums for many years, and I'm always the big naysayer when it comes to piano. And every time he wants to put piano, I'm like, oh, not piano, not piano. But on this album, you found the piano sound that just, wow, it's amazing.
It wasn't hard because we brought in Thomas Barkey to add piano and keyboards and all the other wonderful sounds that, you know, he has command of. And he really, when Krish and I got near the end of the album, we were thinking, no, it's almost there, but we know you like albums to have the panache, the wow factor. Yeah. So we were talking and saying, okay. And we had all these great lady vocalists on there. We got the divine goddess energy everywhere. But I still felt we needed just some other wow factor to fill it out. You know, we gotta just send this over to Thomas and get him to put his love and, you know, amazing musical talent to bear on this album. and he really did it. And then if you listen to One God,
that's the one.
I didn't realize he was such a great blues piano player.
I know, he's like channeling someone from New Orleans on
Yeah.
that track.
And the intro, and then in the middle of One God, there's this break that we share. He starts it off with this super duper, you know, blues piano break, and then I follow it up with kind of a Jeff Beck type guitar break. You know, electric, a little bit of electric guitar we snuck in here and there on that track.
That track is like a party at the end of the album.
It's
that track is so fun, such a great way to end the album.
I thought we should end the album with everybody feeling a little bit of, you know, their heart bursting and laughing, and and you know, originally we had intended to have Sonatam come in, but you know, she's got so much going on in her life, and it was, you know, it just didn't work out to get her into the studio, but her presence is felt all throughout the album. And,
well, you've been making music together for years, so it makes sense.
Well, and also I hear her, she has such great music sensibilities, and you know, she's always urging me to take a little bit of a gentler approach to things. So there is some, it is gentleness in Bajamana, there's some really sweet, gentle sounds in Bright Star. And You Can Make the Sun Shine. A lot of that is, you know, Sonatam's, you know, peaceful influence on me.
And are you planning to perform most of the songs from this album on your Song
Yeah, I'd say we'll perform most of them. You know, Sonatam and I have been doing Bright Star a lot this year in our tours, which has been great. And Tina and I are planning to we'll definitely do Bajamana Mere. We'll definitely do Kundalini Surjhee, which is going to be quite a feat to deliver live, you know.
Yeah.
But she loves it. She loves complex. She loves Gurmukhi, you know, and she loves complex pieces. This piece is complex. And Bright Star, we're definitely going to do. That's kind of becoming like the theme song for the tour. And we may or not do Avaliala. We got one more round of rehearsals. We'll see how it goes there. And definitely One God, for sure.
Oh, good.
And Walk with the Lord is a fun duet.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be doing half my pieces, half. She's got some magnificent compositions that we're gonna be doing from her, you know, Silent Awakening. There's a song that's called All Roads on her Silent Awakening. It's one of the most beautiful spiritual songs ever written in English. And it sounds so good in this new band with Tina and I, and then we've got Jared May, great bass player, he sings too, and then Hans Christian on cello, and Craig Coland on, like, he's got world percussion. I mean, it's going to be a fun tour, and still deeply, it will deliver tremendous spiritual pleasure, but people will also rock out and dance too.
Great fun. Oh, well, I can't wait. Great. Oh, well, thank you so much. And I'm sure you're all going to love this album. So stay tuned.